Hi everyone, welcome back to PrettyWell. Happy New Year. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Dr. Angela.
I'm Dr. Patty. Hi.
Hi. So in this one, we're going to talk about cleaning out. The new year is a time when a lot of us are thinking about what we want to release and what we want to bring in. And so just starting off the new year fresh, cleaning out. So that means physically, that means emotionally, energetically. So we'll touch on all of that in this video. So with the physical stuff, what do we want to think about? Well, a really basic one that a lot of us just don't even think about that much, and it's really important, is hydration. So really making sure we have enough water in. A good guideline is about half of our body weight in ounces of water daily. And
so if you weigh 100 pounds, 50 ounces.
Exactly.
200 pounds, 100 ounces. So just divide your weight by half and then ounces.
Exactly.
In that amount.
Exactly. And then the thing to think about is if you're having diuretics like coffee or tea, that you want to replace at least 1-to-1. So that's for our fluid intake.
And it's a little harder, I think, in the colder months to be drinking enough water. So, either adding some fruit or vegetables, or even sometimes I'll put like a couple cucumbers
to flavor
it.
I do hot water a lot in the winter.
I do a
too.
lot of hot water as well, or I might add just a little bit of an herbal infusion, just to,
as long as it's not caffeinated,
to increase the minerals. So it is tougher, but water is big.
We've got to be mindful, just because if we're not hydrating adequately, our cells don't get enough nutrition, but also we don't let go of things as easily if we don't have enough water in our system. So the next thing that really helps us with good cleaning out is really making sure that we've got enough fiber in our diet, and that includes in food. So really upping our veggies and our fresh fruits, organic whenever possible. And then using vegetable juices is another wonderful way to get a lot of nutrition into our cells so they can more easily do their detox work. They can use the nutrition coming in from those juices to clean out and help us with that detoxification process.
And if you can step it up just a little bit, aiming for those bitter greens or those dark leafy greens, the vegetable juices that are mostly veggie, not mostly fruit, and then a little veggie. But do what you can. If you're someone who only eats McDonald's and drinks soda, adding a mostly fruit and a little veggie juice is going to be a huge improvement. So
definitely,
just wherever you are, but when you feel able to step it up a little bit, more vegetables, more greens.
And I'll put some of my favorite little easy recipes in there, and then there's a lot of wonderful recipes that we can look for on Google online. So just some things to inspire you, and then feel free, and you guys as well, if there's recipes that you love, feel free to share with the community. That helps us all learn together, absolutely. And then just thinking about some additional supplementation things we can do to help with cleanses. Fiber is a big one, so chia seeds, psyllium, flax, those all really help us to clean out. So really bumping up our fiber, and also again in cooked vegetables too, so just making sure the fiber in foods. But so fiber is a really great thing to help us clean out. And then there's a bunch of different herbs that can be very helpful for cleansing. I like to do kind of a combination of supporting the liver in general, and then herbs that help us clean out the liver, our lymphatics, our blood. And so those are things like burdock and red clover, dandelion.
Jinx.
And there's a lot of wonderful combo products, and so we'll put a couple of those for you guys if you don't want to have like 10 different products. But some of you guys have a lot of these things, some tinctures, some teas, things like that at home already. So we'll put both the individuals and some combo products that you guys can easily access.
And a couple other ones are artichoke and milk thistle. A lot of people, milk thistle is sort of the echinacea of liver herbs. So a lot of people have heard of it, but that's another really good one to nourish the liver as well as to help cleanse.
Exactly. One of the things we were talking about earlier is a lot of the cleanse products that are really popular on the market will have kind of harsh stimulant laxatives in them, and both Dr. Patty and I prefer not to use those because they can be habit forming, and you can actually lose tone in your colon over time from using those too much.
So habit forming meaning that literally physically your body will lose its ability to contract your colon and get your digestion moving on its own. So once in a while, sometimes under the guidance of a doctor, might be okay, but you definitely don't want to use those stimulant laxative herbs often.
Also, they can be really painful and uncomfortable. Sometimes, you're out and about doing your routine and then this like cramping starts up, and that won't happen if you use more gentle formulas. So I'm all about gentle, easy things we can add in that help our body versus really push our body too hard. It's like the person who's never had a workout and all of a sudden they go for the first time and it's like 3 hours like so.
And I think with this whole concept of cleansing in the new year, and don't go too hard in the beginning of the year, feeling like you have to be perfect at everything and do all these things. Really pace yourself, because that's what this is. It's a journey, and it's about all of us being healthy and just getting better and better and better, as opposed to, I'm going to follow this program and do it perfectly. But of course, it's a balance. So when you can push yourself a little bit, move forward a little bit too. So
yeah, but I think, in general with our channel, that's kind of the thing of like, we're all doing pretty well, but how do we keep upping the ante just a little bit, having just general wellness principles where we can just keep getting better. So absolutely. So speaking of gentle movement, literally physical gentle movement as well. So walking, again, we underestimate the power of the gentle, but we really need some movement to move our lymphatic channel. There's no pump inside our lymphatics. It's the muscle around the lymphatic channel that moves everything. So, 30 minutes to an hour of gentle walking or whatever other type of exercise you like, really helpful for cleaning out.
And the lymphatics are these extra, if we think about arteries and veins and all of our blood vessels, but right alongside that whole system of blood vessels, there's these other channels or tubes or vessels that are like our little vacuum system. And they take toxins out and release them. But like Dr. Angela said, they don't have a pump the way our blood vessels do. So we have to actually manually make sure that it's constantly moving and flushing things out.
Yeah, so gentle exercise is one way. And then there's also some people who specialize in lymphatic massage. There's gentle skin dry brushing that some of you are familiar with. So that can be done with different kinds of sponges and brushes, and we can put some links to some of those if you guys are not familiar with those in the description box as well. So any way to just gently move toxins out, we want to be focusing on that. Dr. Patty has done some wonderful videos on this channel with how to use castor oil packs. So some of you may know how to do those already, but if you haven't, check out that video. And then most recently,
we'll link it it should be like right here. We'll link it in the eye or the cards. So make sure to check that out, castor oil pack. And then I just did a recent video on coffee enemas. So if you feel inclined or are curious about them, the video goes into what it does and how it detoxes your body and how-to instructions.
Yeah, and enemas sound so intense, but they actually are a really wonderful way. You don't have to do an enema, but it is another wonderful way to just help quickly, get rid of a lot of waste product, and you just feel much more energetic when you do that. So check that out.
Watch the video. It's not as scary. I don't show you exactly how it's done, but it's not as scary as you think. But I show you the products and the vessels and how to do it. So make sure to check that out. But great, another additive, something else you can add in for helping to enhance our cleansing.
Yep, and enemas can gently be done at home at any time, but then you can also go get a professional series of colonics if you've never tried something like that. So that can really be another way to just move the toxins really quickly. So those are, some of the physical things we can do in our bodies to help with detox and cleansing. Another thing to just think about, though, is also decreasing the amount of toxicity we're coming into contact with. So decreasing the total burden that our liver has to work on, that we have to get out of our system. So, one really common thing we don't think about all the time is, things we're putting on top of our body. So all of our body care and our cosmetics, that's a really good place to decrease toxin exposure. Household cleaning products as well. We've got a video from way back in the day, on how to pick safe, natural products in the household so that we're just not loading our bodies up with chemicals.
There's just so many chemicals that we're being exposed to that we don't have control over. So the things that we actually can choose, and it's fun, at least when it comes to beauty and skincare, I think it's fun to explore non-toxic options. As Dr. Angela was saying, just lowering our burden, our load, lowering the amount that's in our bucket, is going to help your body not have to work so hard to naturally detox.
Exactly. And then also just thinking about the quality of air. So sometimes, having extra allergens, things like mold or dust or dander in the environment can be another thing that just makes it harder for your body to clean out the other things it's trying to work on. So having great air filters in the house, that can be another really easy thing we do. And then the emotional pieces as well. We were talking about actually decluttering the spaces we work in. So kind of just taking inventory of what are the things that are no longer serving, what are some of the, patterns and habits we want to shift up. There's some wonderful books out there Dr. Patty was sharing with me.
Well, depending on when you're watching this video, right now the hot show on Netflix is Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, I think is the official title. We'll link it down below in the description box, but you may have heard of her book, and now she has a show on Netflix, but talks a lot about tidying up, cleaning up, organizing, but also her whole thesis is about, does this spark joy? Do I keep it or do I let it go? So I think that's a really interesting way of looking at letting go of things in our life, whether that be paperwork or shoes or people.
Yeah.
So that brings us to another aspect of letting go and cleaning up and cleansing is energetic boundaries, people in our lives, toxic people in our lives, and navigating that to, increase our health in a way that's doable. So if there's somebody in your life that you need to be cutting out completely and you feel you can do it, by all means. If it's more about creating a healthy boundary or creating some limitations, maybe that's the better option. Doing some meditations or visualization around self-protection and energetic healing also can be an added benefit, but there's definitely an emotional component to cleansing in our life as well.
Yeah, I loved as I was listening to you too, I had this little aha too of just how wonderful that the barometer is does this bring me joy? If it's something that actually increases our vitality and just helps us with overall wellness. So that's the marker that we're actually choosing.
And learning to say no more. It's not just about cleansing people, but just experiences and learning to say no to things that we don't want to do. Now, there are certain things in life that we just have to do. That's just life. We can't, cut out everything, but
not all at once.
Sometimes, we might be doing too much people pleasing or saying yes when we don't really want to. So those kinds of boundaries are important in terms of how our body cleanses too.
Absolutely. So that's what we have for you guys for how to start off the new year with some good cleansing tips. Please share some of your favorite ways to clean out and bring in the new year. Whatever topics you want to learn about in the new year, please keep those coming. We are definitely writing lists and planning out for the new year for you guys. Thanks so much.
Some great stuff for you.
Yeah.
And just as a little PS, I know you kind of touched on it, but make sure to check the description box because if all of this seems like too much, or you just want like a little kit to start out with, we're going to list a good little detox kit by Integrative Therapeutics, which is one of our favorite companies, and they have a nice little gentle, easy cleansing kit that you can start with and then implement as much of these tips as you can.
Yeah, we try to give different tiers, kind of more expanded stuff, shorter stuff, so some quick and easy, and then some things that are just a little bit more in depth if you're up for that. So whatever is useful. Again, thank you all so much for being here with us every week. We're loving watching the community grow, and we will look forward to seeing you back here with us next week. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.